So Crashing Down came out of a batch of songs that was used for a short-lived band called the Dread Pirate Roberts. And we basically live tracked actually 4 of the songs on this album. And Crashing Down was kind of part of that initial batch, but at the time we were working on it, it just wasn't quite where it needed to be. The lyrics weren't done, and it was really close, but we knew it wasn't quite there for the recording session. But I always had in mind this song, and just one day I was digging through some old Pro Tools files and kind of rediscovered it. And I started working on it, and the next thing I knew, I was calling up Mark Thomas here, and we were setting up a session at Sweetbriar Studios. The song came out great as far as I'm concerned, and one of the great things about working with Mark is he's got a great ear and eye for just adding those little salt and pepper in the song that it needs. So for example, the top of the song has this little, it has this little vinyl intro to it. It's kind of like this crackly vinyl sound, and I just think that fits so perfectly with the blues aesthetic of basically the entire album, and definitely the song. So I think it was just a great touch to add, and especially because it is the opening track. It's kind of like you just dropped the needle on the record, and off we go. So the other part of this song that wasn't there originally was the fuzz guitar lead part in the beginning. I mean, originally it was just that main riff, down, down, all the way through. Just that main riff. So basically, the way I was playing this live was that main riff all the way through. Even when the band comes in, I would just stick to that main riff. But we obviously had done all the basic tracks. We'd done drums, bass, and guitar, and we're just sitting back and going, okay, this needs something. And I think it was Mark actually who came up with the idea of having a lead there. And so I kicked on my fuzz box that I was playing with at the time, and came up with that. And to me, that's very much in line with Kenny Wayne Shepherd or even Stevie Ray Vaughan. I don't know, the Stevie Ray Vaughan, did he ever use a fuzz box?
Yeah, he definitely had some. He had modded fuzz stuff. Faces and all sorts of stuff, man, that Diaz guy would do for him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So very much in that modern blues thing. I mean, obviously guys like B.B. King weren't playing with that stuff.
Sure.
With fuzz sounds and stuff, to me, like when you listen to them in isolation, I mean, they're just nasty, ugly sounds, and stuff that your grandmother wouldn't particularly care for. But when you throw them in a mix like that, to me, they're just a great texture. Okay, so we come out of the second chorus here, and we go back to the main riff, but then we do this little like just interlude kind of section. And we do this little breakdown here, and this is kind of my homage to the Archangels. For those of you who don't know, the Archangels are, in my opinion, one of the greatest bands that never quite hit the big time. They're based out of Austin, Texas, and it's basically it's Stevie Ray Vaughan's band. It's Chris Layton and Tommy Shannon, and they formed this band with Charlie Sexton and Doyle Bramhall right after Stevie Ray died. So anyway, this section is kind of my homage to them, and it's just this super chill breakdown. Like, and even vocals like that to me is like is very Charlie Sexton. He's great at that kind of earthy, raspy, right up close kind of vocal sound. And then we're back in the final chorus.
Yeah, that sound to me is very like that Kenny. It's not quite, but like that Kenny Wayne thing where he has that. It's like either a ring modulator or an octave fuzz, where it's putting that like.
Yeah.
Man, and I don't think you're using an octave fuzz, right?
It is an octave fuzz.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, that brings me to that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't actually know that was an octafuzz. I was like, I don't know, man. You got some really dope technique because you're hitting those like overtones.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So I said a fuzz box earlier, but it's actually an octafuzz.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so that sound on the solo here. That's an octafuzz all the way. I mean, you got to have one on your board.